Security and education join forces like never before to form Secure Ed. Tonight's episode, using cloud services safely.
To you.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you. Hey, what's with Larry?
Oh, I think he's worried about cold and flu season.
Oh, too bad you didn't take the same precaution when you were using cloud services.
Yeah. We were in a real bind when all our sales leads were published on the net after we loaded them on that iffy provider.
Didn't know any better. I think the name Dark Storm Cloud should have been a hint. Now you're trying to play safe with the mask and gloves. Then why are you wearing that stuff?
Boss, he's spinning records for my party. His DJ name is Dr. Grizzly.
And it looks like the doctor is in. Okay? Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
Everybody!
Whoop, whoop.
Hi, I'm Bob, and welcome to Secure Ed training for using cloud services safely. Cloud services are all the rage. Not since the hula hoop has there been this much buzz. Okay, maybe the Beatles had more buzz. I can never remember if they came before or after the hula hoop. But anyway, cloud services are no fad. They're here to stay. But what is the cloud, and is it safe to use for work? Today we're going to cover the following material. What is the cloud? Cloud service policies, security in the cloud, and cloud data residency. What is the cloud? I sound like Morpheus from The Matrix.
What is the cloud?
Basically, cloud-based services allow you to store files, do word processing tasks, or even create presentations without storing files or installing software on your devices. Cloud-based services also typically let you share files across your many devices. For example, you may be writing a document on your laptop, but later at the coffee shop, you open up the same file on your tablet and continue working. The cloud-based service keeps everything in sync across all of your devices, so that every time you open it up, you are looking at the latest version. Sounds great, right? Well, it kind of is. It's cool technology. And for people like independent contractors, mobile employees, and small business owners, cloud-based services are ideal. The cloud saves them money, eliminates the need to install and maintain computers and software, and allows them to work whenever and wherever they like. Cloud service policies. But you're probably asking yourself, what's the catch? Well, you have to attend a 2-hour seminar about timeshare vacation properties. Nah, not really. But in order to use these services properly, you need to know your organization's policy regarding cloud-based services. Some organizations say no to all of them. Others have a select few you can utilize, while others are pretty open to whatever you select. It's important that you understand what the corporate view is so that you can prevent problems from popping up in the future. Security in the cloud. For the sake of this episode, let's assume that your employer has a fairly liberal policy regarding cloud services. Here's what you can do to securely use the cloud. This is especially important if your employer is within a regulated industry like banking or healthcare, or is a company that deals with credit card information or legal action data. When it comes to security, you need to make sure the cloud provider's web-based interface is SSL enabled so that all of the data that you share back and forth is encrypted and secure from prying eyes. The easiest way to tell whether it is SSL enabled is to look for the little padlock symbol on your browser. The location of the symbol will vary from browser to browser. Make sure you're familiar with where it's located. Found the padlock on your browser? Yeah? Check out the big brain on Brad. So now your data is secure in transit. But is it secure at rest? Is your data encrypted on the cloud provider's servers? This is a little bit harder to determine and will require that you do some reading on the cloud provider's site. Typically, the information will be contained in sections called encryption or how we protect your data. If not, you're probably going to have to call or email the provider to confirm. If they do not encrypt the data while it is on their servers, it may be best for you to look for another provider, or discuss the matter with your manager or IT group to determine what your next steps should be. So now your data is encrypted. Great! But what if the data becomes unavailable when you need it most? When you utilize cloud services, you are relying upon the provider to back up your data and to be able to restore it in the event of a server crash. It's important to understand your provider's Service Level Agreement, or SLA. To quote alternative music icon Tom Waits, "The large print giveth, and the small print taketh away." Do they guarantee how quickly your data will be restored if their servers have issues? Do they guarantee a certain percentage of uptime? Remember, even the best systems have problems at times. But if you can't get your data when you need it, there may be a bad impact on you and your employer. If you can't find this information, or if you aren't sure what the information is telling you, talk to your manager or IT group for guidance. Cloud data residency. Another thing that many people take for granted is the assumption that their data will always be stored on computers that reside within their country. Many service providers maintain data centers around the globe so they can replicate data from one server to another. Remember those SLAs we talked about? Having data centers around the globe is how providers address them. Think about it this way. If your provider's site in California goes down, they can still deliver service to you from their data centers in Australia, Hong Kong, or maybe the United Kingdom. And while this might seem like a great idea at first, what if you are dealing with data that has to be maintained within your country? By allowing the service provider to store your data on servers abroad, you also allow those countries' government and law enforcement agencies the right to subpoena or seize your data. This could present problems for your employer or your customers. So always make sure you understand where your data is going to be stored, encrypted or not, so you keep yourself and your employer out of any potential legal hot water. That wraps up cloud services for the day. All the bells and whistles in the world won't save you if you can't depend upon your cloud service provider to keep your data safe and available to you when and where you need it. So remember, understand your organization's policy or stance toward cloud-based services. Ensure that proper encryption and data availability SLAs are in place. And know where your data is being stored and understand your risks for out-of-country storage. That's it. We're all done. I'm going to go look up what year the hula hoop was invented. You can get back to the party.
This is good. Well, I think it's time we all got back to work. Did he say limbo contest?
He sure did.
My nickname in college was Limbo Lou.
What? Prove it.
My pleasure.
At least we don't have to go back to work.
Yeah.